Alright, so today we're back with another video. This time around we're going to be talking about Wild Gunman. And the thing about Wild Gunman, and I'll just start the game right now, is that Wild Gunman was not a game that was on the Versus system. It was not an arcade game per se, as far as what you see here on the screen. It was an arcade game in the 70s, and what they did is they used a light gun with a actual movie, 16mm movie, from what I understand, and they would shoot at the movie, and it would simulate. They would shoot different scenes where the cowboy would die, the cowboy would win, and so on. Basically, just shooting off the screen to select which game I want. I'm gonna do the Two Outlaws. And basically you gotta watch to see which one's gonna draw first. And the guy on the left, he drew first, so I shot him. And you basically wanna look to see, right when you see a little twinkle, like they're drawing and they're gonna shoot, that's when you hit them. And of course it's gonna get progressively harder, so if you shoot them without them drawing first, you get a foul. You saw a twinkle on that guy's eyes, so I shot him first, but then I was too late for the other one. I don't know why I didn't shoot that one. You really gotta be quick. So that little twinkle is actually the first guy you want to get. Look at their eyes. And that one didn't have a gun, so he just moved out of the way, which is interesting. And now he shot me. It's a hard game, right? Because before he didn't shoot you, and now he drew a gun. So that's game mode B, and we'll try A. And again, this is a game from Nintendo from the 70s. They basically, it looks something like this. This is the only version that they made that looks like this for the Play Tri-Stand and Nintendo. The arcade version that was made in the 70s was with live, and and again, I just pressed the button, held it in, and let it go to shoot. That's the thing. If you just press it in, it actually won't shoot until you let go again. But the version of that Nintendo made of the arcade version, this arcade version in the 70s, used a live movie, 16mm movie, and you would shoot at the screen. And depending if you hit the cowboy or not, or the outlaw, a different animation or a different movie scene would play, I should say. So if you hit him, a different movie scene would play, where you know, the cowboy would die, or if you missed him, it would play something where he killed you, and you would, basically the game, you would have to draw and shoot. Got him. Of course, the faster you hit him, after he gives you the signal, usually the eyes light up, the more points you get. Right there. It's really hard. If you go and buy the character drawing the gun, you never. It's just impossible. You got to go by the signal, which is the eyes. Got him. And a lot of these Nintendo games, they always had, like, you know, little hints. Like one that comes to mind really quick is Punch Out. You know, some of the guys would actually blink their eyes and let you know what to do next. It's a nice game. It's sort of like Hogan's Alley, really. I mean, it's like any other light game, you know. It's about, like Hogan's Alley is more, it's about timing, which is what this game is about. Unlike Duck Hunt, where you just shoot at the ducks, and you know, there's a time per when the ducks come. So I won. This is round 10, and I have 2 lives left, I believe. Got him. See how far we can make it. And it will show you the Gunman at the top is draw time, and my draw time. You can see his draw time was 70, mine was 51 seconds. Maybe we could take this to round 20, who knows. And at first when I was playing this, I wasn't looking for the signal, which is the eyes. I was just looking to you know, to shoot at him based on the animation when they were drawing the gun. And it's a lot easier once you know the trick to this game. You know, using the Aimtrak, it's a great gun. It's working really well. Now that the crosshair is not on there, it's very authentic looking. It's like playing this game basically on a Nintendo system, which is awesome. I mean, there is drawbacks to this thing. You know, like I said, it doesn't have the recoil. If you press the button, you hold it in, it actually doesn't shoot until you let go. But I think that the Nintendo Zapper was the same way. If you held it in, it wouldn't shoot until you let go of it. And then the only other thing is the calibration is very easy. It comes with software that you can download from Ultimark. I'm not going to go into that because it's that easy. Oh, jeez. But the only thing, like I said, that I had an issue with was 30 seconds auto calibration, which means if you hold this button for 30 seconds, it would go into auto calibration mode, and you would see the cursor on the games go all over the place. Aside from that, MAME once in a while forgets what gun this is. So if this is gun 3 on MAME, next time you go and play, it might be gun 1 or gun 2. And that's why I have a tab button here to get to the MAME settings, and I just change it on the fly. It's not a big deal for me, but it's... If you don't have that tab button where you can get into the controllers on your MAME, and you have to press the keyboard somewhere else, it's a pain in the ass, so keep that in mind. But every other emulator that I worked with, the gun doesn't have those problems. And the thing with MAME 2 is that you can actually shut off the... you can actually shut off the crosshair to make it more authentic. So there you go, we made it to round 19, not too bad. And that just says gang. Let's see what that's about. And I just used the Aimtrak light gun to select that. Oh, they just show up and you shoot them. This one's a lot easier because you don't have to. You can see how accurate this gun is. I like this one, and it's a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to get faster now. This gun works every time. And again, like I said to you, this the version of Wildman that we're playing here is nothing like the one that used to be in the arcade in the 70s. Okay, it was actually live and motion, basically a movie. And of course, this game does make a cameo on Back to the Future 2, which you can look that up on YouTube. I like this version right here, it's fun. The quick draw, they're really quick, especially the mode B, which is the 2 guys. See how far I can take this? To show you how accurate this thing is, again, there's no crosshair on the screen, and I'm just aiming at him, and the gun is getting him every time. And basically, the gun, all it's doing is really emulating a mouse. So, and that's why a lot of those emulators, they have that cursor, because they know you're going to play this game with a mouse, because there really was no light gun at the time when they created this for an LCD screen. So you'd have to see exactly where you were on the Y and X axis basically where you were on the screen. So, and I'm using Nestopia because it's a good emulator. I never had a problem with it, you know. And version 1.04, I believe. Oh, you got me. But they haven't really updated it to work with the with light guns that are out, especially the Aimtrak. So they still assume, wow, they still assume that you're going to use a mouse. Wow, this game is unforgiving. Game over.